Hi, my name is Sammy from My Screen to Yours. It is another month, so let's talk about all the dramas that I watched in November. We'll start off with the dramas that I've mentioned recently in one of my monthly new drama update videos. I think I talked about this in my last month's recap. I finally finished Love's Ambition. Last month I was actually almost on the show already, but I got distracted by Love in the Clouds, which we will talk about next. But now that I've finished, overall I enjoyed the show and I did like Zhao Lusi and William Chan together as a couple. Maybe they weren't for everybody, but I don't know. I thought they looked good together. Definitely the story and the writing kind of fell off near the end. The first half was the most interesting. In the last few episodes, I think it really kind of went off the rails. It didn't bother me that much because it was almost over already, but dumb things that happened, it just wasn't that good at the end. But it's fine. Overall, I still had a good time. I would still recommend you to watch it if you're curious. Next up is Love in the Clouds. This is my first, I don't know how to pronounce it, but xianxia drama, so like fantasy, because I've mentioned before that I don't really like, or I don't gravitate towards this genre because I don't like how it looks fake a lot of the times, or just not good. I just don't like how it looks. I'm just not drawn to fantasy that much in general, but I wanted to give this a try because I thought the relationship between the leads looked cute. They're both very attractive, so I kind of wanted to check it out. I'm here to report that I enjoyed Love in the Clouds very much. I really liked the two leads as a couple. Their dynamic was really fun to watch straight from the start because they start off with a very flirty, but they both are hiding things or like want something from the other person, and then obviously eventually they come to develop real feelings for one another. I just thought their whole relationship was really fun. It introduced me to the main actress, Lu Yuxiao. I'm really making up the pinyin pronunciation there, but I don't know, I thought she was so cute and I really like her voice. It's just really cute. And of course, we can't not talk about the steamy scenes in this drama. I was like recording the scenes for my friends who don't even care about this show because I just want to show them the like bath scene. Yeah, there's a lot of scenes that I rewatched multiple times, I must admit. They had really good chemistry together. That was definitely the best part, but I actually quite enjoyed the fantasy, like magical elements as well, more than I probably would have expected. Like, I'm not into the genre now, but I'm more open to xianxia dramas in the future, but only if there's a couple that I like. And then two that I mentioned, I believe in my last new drama update video that I wanted to watch. The first one is Dear Ex. I was mistaken and I thought the finale was this week, like today, but there's actually 2 more episodes. Thought I could talk to you about the entire show, but I've only watched until episode 8 right now. And I mentioned that I was very intrigued by this show. The concept, or like the premise, not concept, the premise was very interesting and different from not just any K-drama, but any show that I've seen, that I was very curious to check it out. And now after more than half the show, I personally am really enjoying this. And I mean, I haven't seen that many K-dramas from this year, but personally, I think I would put it as my favorite. Right from the start, the first episode, it just immediately hooks you in with our lead character's backstory. She has very abusive parents, very tragic childhood. From the first episode, you see her engaging in morally gray actions because she's doing them to someone who is also not a great person. So it makes you root for her at the start, but not long afterwards, you realize, actually, maybe we shouldn't be rooting for her because she's actually like a horrible person. I like that. I feel like the show itself manipulates you into being on her side, kind of rooting for her when actually you shouldn't be. I like the pacing. It's never been boring. Things just happen. It's very dark. The acting is super good. We'll talk about that in a second. Obviously, trigger warnings, so many trigger warnings actually if you're gonna watch this show. Everything from child abuse, violence, blood, self-deletion. I think one of the biggest draws and the biggest positives about this show, besides the unique story, is definitely the lead actress Kim Yoojung's acting. I actually haven't seen her act in a show since 2012 when she was still like a child actress, but I know that, you know, she's always this show. She's so cold and menacing and chilling. It's just a really top-notch performance, especially I think it's in episode 4 or something at the end. There's a shot that just lingers on her for, I want to say, at least like a minute, and it's really memorable, honestly kind of scary, just crazy. She's like unrecognizable, I think, in this show, especially in that scene. A noteworthy performance for sure. One minor gripe that I have is, I won't go into much detail because it's kind of a spoiler, but in the middle of the show, she basically manipulates someone to be with her. I don't exactly know or understand like how that came to be. For me, like maybe I'm missing something. I feel like the switch up was like really fast, and I don't really know what exactly she did to make him suddenly change like that. So if anyone knows, let me know. There's 4 more episodes I'd love to watch. I'm very curious to see how it ends. I have some predictions, I guess. I hope they stick the landing, because I think if they do, this will be really good. It could also go not so good if the ending goes in a certain direction, in my opinion. I will talk about it more in December's wrap up. Next, very briefly, I mentioned that I would be watching The Manipulated, and I decided that I would try to watch this with my boyfriend, which means that I've only watched episode 1 so far, and I can't say when I will ever finish it. But for now, episode 1, it's a fine intro. Didn't particularly grab me that much. Like, it's interesting, but it mainly just sets up the main character and what kind of person he is, and also how he gets himself into being framed for this crime. I personally think it'll get a lot more interesting later on, because he'll probably have his character arc and become a badass, and then lots more action, and then of course the main reason that I want to watch, To Kyung-soo, will also be a big part of the drama. So as of right now, not many thoughts, but one day you'll hear me talk about it again. Now on to 2 dramas that I mentioned I would try to watch and that I've dropped. The first one being Genie Make a Wish. So whenever I say that I'll try watching, I watch 2 episodes before I decide what I'm gonna do with them. I decided to give this a go because the story seemed unique, and also I do like Suzy and Kim Woo-bin as actors, but I dropped it because it's just, in my opinion, a very typical like quirky rom-com K-drama, and I think nowadays 80% of the time I think they're not funny and I just don't enjoy them very much. She was fine, and nothing about the performance necessarily, but I just thought the humor that they gave him was very unfunny and just cringe. And the second one that I dropped is the C-drama Faded Hearts. This one, I think I've heard just vaguely that it's a good drama. I'm sure the story is like good. Like honestly, I didn't really have any major problems with it the first 2 episodes. I know it's a romance, and honestly, I just don't visually ship the 2 together. And I know she's like older, and it's not because she's older. I just don't like ship them together visually. Sometimes it just be like that. I don't really want to watch a partial romance if I'm not feeling the romance, unless the romance is a side thing, but I'm pretty sure this is not a side thing. So that's why I dropped it. Now on to a few that I started watching that I haven't mentioned recently, or they're just on my watch list. And one that I finished a few days ago is Hidden Love. And I decided to spontaneously start watching this because, okay, I sort of went down a rabbit hole, but I watched Love in the Clouds, and then I started liking Lu Yuxiao, and then I looked at her upcoming dramas, and she's gonna be in, I can't remember what it's called, I'll put it on screen, that is in that Hidden Love universe. So I decided that it's time for me to get into this Hidden Love universe because it's been on my watch list for a while. I think it's a very cute, sweet, unproblematic, feel-good drama, which is probably why it's so popular and just well-loved, because I think anyone can just find enjoyment in this drama. There isn't really anything to complain about. It's really just about the female lead, again played by Zhao Lusi, and her having this crush from when she was young on her older brother's friend. I do think in the beginning it was a little jarring because a child actress plays her, the main male lead. He's the same throughout like all the time periods. It was like a little strange, but I just had to keep telling myself that no, he's only 5 years older, and once they're of age, it's normal. So it's not problematic because it's not like he's grooming her or anything. Honestly, not many notes. It's just a good time. I also really liked the sibling dynamic between the female lead and her older brother, played by Victor Ma. I don't have any siblings, but I could really feel that's what siblings are like, some of them at least. But yeah, they also had a really sweet relationship despite all their bickering. I don't think it's one of my favorite romances that I've watched this year. I still do think it's very good. And of course, next I will be watching The First Frost. I don't know when, but probably in the next couple of months. And then last three that I'll discuss are three C-dramas that I'm currently watching. The first one is Love on the Turquoise Land. I won't talk too much about this because I actually have yet to talk about it in my like new drama update video because this only started airing a few days ago. Very briefly, it's fantasy, action, thriller, honestly horror. If you read the plot summary online, I honestly don't know how the plot summary plays in, and I've watched 8 episodes already. So I would describe it as, from a long time ago, there's these supernatural mutated creatures, and then these hunters that have grouped together to fight these creatures. Many years later, they're still kind of almost like a secret society because the greater world doesn't know about this. It's like these hunters' duty to keep fighting these creatures, and the female lead is one of these hunters, but she's trying to step away and live like a normal life, and she meets the male lead whose family was taken over by this mysterious woman who's basically controlling their family and their business and doing shady things. I wasn't expecting from the summary that I read for this to be low-key scary. I mean, I'm not scared like it's a horror movie. Like, if you don't like creatures and stuff, this is not for you. So far, I'm enjoying it. I think it sets up this mystery pretty well. I won't say that it's like amazing. So far, I am enjoying it and I will keep watching. Next that I'm currently watching is Coroner's Diary, which I believe came out this summer, and I wanted to watch this because I heard it was similar to The Wanted Detective, which I watched a few months ago, and it's basically a historical drama about the main female lead who is a doctor and a coroner, and she basically helps solve cases by performing like forensic, I can't remember what it's called, like forensic whatever. I think so far I'm enjoying it more than The Wanted Detective. I don't know if it's really fair to compare the two necessarily, but I do think they are similar. And I think this one's just more interesting because it does focus a lot more on the autopsy stuff for the case solving. Like The Wanted Detective, there is a romance side plot between the two leads, and I also don't necessarily care about them that much, but I do like them together more than the leads of The Wanted Detective. So far, I've been enjoying it. I'm not obsessed with it, but it is good if you're looking for some kind of show of this nature. And then very briefly, I watched one episode of Empresses in the Palace, which is an older but really famous, iconic Chinese drama. I was just searching for non-idol dramas that are about a lot of like strategy and politics and scheming and stuff. It's available to watch just on YouTube. I'll put a link down below because that's how I watched the first episode with subtitles. I mean, the first episode, it's a good intro to the story. Obviously, I don't have much to say. It's like one episode out of 70 or something. I'm very curious to very slowly watch this because I know that the lead, it's about her journey from being this innocent teen girl who enters the world of the palace and then how she rises up the ranks. It seems like a good character arc, and I like how she's basically turning into a scheming baddie. So I just like seeing like what situations and how she changes over the years to become basically this whole other person. I don't know when I will ever finish this because I'm watching like 6 different shows right now, but when I do eventually, I'll let you know, or you'll just hear me talk a little bit about it every month. But that was all the shows that I watched this month of November. I would love to know what you have been watching. Stay tuned very soon. I will be uploading my new December dramas video. Thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you subscribe to join my small drama community, and I'll see you in my next video.